What if every doubt surrounding Shedeur Sanders just got answered in one practice? That is the feeling coming out of Cleveland after day one of voluntary minicamp. While critics were waiting to see mistakes, Shedeur stepped onto the field looking calm, sharp, and completely in command. Reports described crisp throws, strong timing, and the kind of confidence that instantly grabs attention. He did not look like a player trying to adjust. He looked like someone ready to take over. For months, people questioned whether he could handle the pressure, the spotlight, and the jump to this level. But from the very first reps, he seemed determined to silence that noise. Every completed pass added more buzz, and every confident decision made the doubters quieter. It was only one practice, but it created real excitement fast. And if this was just the beginning, the rest of camp could become must-watch material. Most quarterbacks walk into the first day of minicamp trying to shake off rust, learn the pace again, and avoid mistakes. It is usually a feeling-out process where players move carefully, coaches observe quietly, and nobody wants to overreact. But Shedeur Sanders did not seem interested in taking the slow route. From the moment practice began, reports suggested he carried himself with the confidence of someone who already believed he belonged in control of the offense. Instead of easing into the new environment, Shedeur reportedly attacked the day with urgency. His footwork looked sharp, his mechanics looked clean, and the ball came out with purpose. That kind of presence matters more than many fans realize. Coaches notice it, teammates notice it, quarterbacks are expected to set the tone, and on the very first day, it appeared he wanted everyone to feel his energy immediately. What made the session stand out even more was how comfortable he looked under pressure. First practices can feel chaotic. New terminology, new timing, new expectations, and dozens of eyes watching every move can rattle even talented players. But Shedeur reportedly looked poised through it all. He was not rushing throws or second-guessing reads. He looked decisive, and that is often the biggest sign of a player who has prepared the right way before ever stepping on the field. There is also something psychological about a strong opening day. Fair or not, first impressions shape narratives. If a quarterback struggles early, critics jump on it instantly. If he shines, belief starts building just as fast. That is why this session mattered. Shedeur did not just have a solid day, he created momentum. Suddenly, conversations shifted from questions about whether he was ready to curiosity about how far he could go. For Cleveland fans, that kind of start brings excitement because the franchise knows how valuable quarterback stability can be. Supporters have seen hype before, but they have also seen how quickly confidence can spread when a passer looks in command. One sharp practice does not guarantee future success, but it can change the tone around a player, and that appears to be exactly what happened here. Even the smallest details likely stood out to those watching closely: the quick release, the body language, the willingness to challenge windows instead of settling for safe throws. Those moments build trust over time. They tell coaches that the player is not overwhelmed and tell teammates that he is ready to compete. Of course, minicamp is only the beginning. Real tests come later when defenses disguise coverages, pressure increases, and every rep carries more consequence. But strong starts matter because they create belief before the harder battles arrive. And if day one was any indication, Shedeur Sanders is not interested in slowly earning attention. He looks ready to demand it. The biggest takeaway from day one was not just that Shedeur Sanders looked confident, it was how accurate he reportedly was from start to finish. Accuracy is one of the fastest ways for a quarterback to change opinions, because no matter how strong the arm is or how athletic the player may be, nothing matters if the ball is not landing where it needs to go. On this day, reports suggested Shedeur was putting passes exactly where receivers could make plays, and that instantly grabbed attention. The headline number being discussed was an estimated completion rate around 80% during team drills. Even in practice, that is impressive, especially on the first day when timing can be off, and players are still adjusting to the speed of live reps. But what made it more interesting was that these were not described as meaningless dump-offs or easy throws designed to inflate numbers. He was reportedly hitting passes in rhythm, delivering into windows, and keeping drives alive with steady decision-making. That matters because quarterbacks are judged differently than every other player on the field. One missed throw becomes a talking point. One late read becomes criticism. Every snap is magnified. So when a young quarterback opens camp by stacking completions and keeping the offense moving, people notice quickly. Coaches see consistency. Teammates feel momentum. Fans begin to imagine what it could look like when the games become real. Another reason accuracy stands out is because it builds trust. Wide receivers run harder when they know the ball will be there. Coaches call aggressive plays when they trust the quarterback can execute them. Offensive lines play with confidence when they know the timing of the system is intact. Accurate quarterbacks do more than complete passes, they stabilize everything around them. If Shedeur continues showing that trait, it could have a ripple effect across the entire offense. There were also signs that his placement may have been just as important as the completion percentage itself. A completed pass thrown too high or behind a receiver can still kill momentum, but clean placement allows receivers to stay in stride and gain extra yards after the catch. Those hidden details often separate average passers from players who truly run an offense efficiently. Of course, one minicamp practice does not prove long-term greatness. Defenses were not game planning, the pads were not on, and the season is still far away. But early flashes of precision are always worth noting because accuracy tends to translate better than hype. It is a skill that shows up repeatedly when pressure rises. That is why this performance created buzz. It was not about one flashy throw or one highlight clip. It was about steady command, repeatable mechanics, and a quarterback delivering the ball where it needed to be over and over again. If that trend continues, Shedeur Sanders will not just be winning practices, he will be changing the entire conversation around him. Sometimes the biggest change for a quarterback is not mechanics, talent, or even experience. It is the voice leading the room. That is why the arrival of Todd Monken has created so much interest around Cleveland. New coaches bring new standards, new expectations, and a completely different atmosphere. For Shedeur Sanders, that fresh environment may be exactly what he needed at this stage of his career. From early reports, the energy around practice felt sharper and more urgent. There was a sense that every rep mattered, every detail was being watched, and every player was expected to compete. That kind of atmosphere can quickly change the culture of a team. Players often respond when they feel structure mixed with opportunity, and it appears that was the tone being set immediately. For a quarterback, coaching chemistry matters more than almost any other position. The quarterback has to trust the system, understand what the coach wants, and believe that the staff is putting him in the best position to succeed. If that trust is missing, hesitation shows up on the field. Throws come late. Reads become slower. Confidence starts fading. But when trust is strong, everything speeds up. Decisions become cleaner, movements look smoother, and leadership becomes natural. That is why Shedeur's body language during minicamp became a talking point. He reportedly looked comfortable, engaged, and energized throughout the session. Those details may sound small, but they often reveal a lot. Players can fake confidence for interviews, but it is much harder to fake it during live reps. The way a quarterback moves, communicates, and carries himself usually tells the real story. Monken's offensive background also adds intrigue. Coaches known for aggressive passing concepts and quarterback-friendly structures often unlock a different level in talented passers. Rumors around the team suggest there is optimism that this offense could become more open, more creative, and more suited to Shedeur's strengths. While those expectations remain speculative for now, the early excitement is real. Another major factor is accountability. New coaches often reset the pecking order, meaning previous narratives no longer matter. Veterans must re-earn roles. Young players get fresh chances. For Shedeur, that can be valuable because he is being judged by what he does now, not by old opinions or outside noise. Every strong practice under a new staff carries extra weight. Fans should also understand that culture shifts do not happen overnight. One minicamp session does not guarantee a transformed franchise, but momentum starts somewhere, and often it begins with players buying into a coach's message. If the quarterback is fully invested, the rest of the locker room tends to follow. Right now, that may be the most important sign of all. Shedeur Sanders appears motivated, focused, and connected to the direction of the team. With Todd Monken setting a new tone, Cleveland may finally be building the kind of environment where a young quarterback can truly grow. Arm strength gets the headlines, speed gets highlight clips, and accuracy fills stat sheets. But one trait often separates real quarterbacks from talented throwers: processing speed. That is the ability to read the defense, recognize movement, move through progressions, and make the correct decision before the window closes. During day one of Minicamp, Shedeur Sanders reportedly showed flashes of exactly that, and it may have been the most important sign of the entire session. To casual fans, a completed pass can look simple. The quarterback drops back, sees an open receiver, and throws the ball. But what happens before the throw is where the real work begins. Defenses disguise coverages, safeties rotate late, linebackers drift into passing lanes, and corners try to bait mistakes. The quarterback has only seconds to sort through all of it. If he hesitates even slightly, the opportunity is gone. Reports from practice suggested Shedeur was operating quickly, scanning the field with purpose, and making decisions without panic. That poise matters because young quarterbacks often struggle with information overload. New systems, faster defenders, more complex coverages, and pressure from every direction can make talented players look frozen. Many prospects can throw in drills, but once the mental side speeds up, mistakes start happening. Shedeur reportedly looked calm through the chaos, which is often a stronger indicator than one flashy throw. Observers mentioned how he appeared to move through reads smoothly instead of locking onto one target. That detail is huge. When quarterbacks stare down receivers, defenses react fast and turnovers follow. But when a passer keeps his eyes active and moves defenders with his vision, the entire offense becomes more dangerous. It creates bigger windows and forces defenses to guess wrong. If Shedeur is already showing signs of that discipline, Cleveland has reason to be encouraged. Poise also reveals itself in body language. Some quarterbacks look rushed the moment pressure builds. Feet get sloppy, shoulders rise, mechanics break down. Others stay balanced and composed, trusting what they see. Shedeur reportedly fell into the second category. He did not seem sped up by the moment, and that calmness can spread across the offense. Linemen settle down, receivers trust routes, and coaches feel comfortable calling more aggressive concepts. Another reason processing speed matters is because it improves everything else. A quarterback does not need elite athleticism if he wins early with his mind. He does not need to force hero throws if he identifies the right option on time. Great decision-making can make average plays look easy, and easy football usually wins games. Of course, Minicamp is not the regular season. Real pressure, disguised blitzes, and hostile road environments will test any quarterback later. But early signs of mental sharpness should never be ignored. That trait tends to translate when the lights get brighter. If these reports continue through camp, Shedeur Sanders may be proving that his greatest weapon is not just his arm. It is how fast he sees the game and how calmly he responds when everything around him speeds up. Every quarterback can complete short throws in practice. Slants, screens, checkdowns, quick outs, those passes keep an offense moving, but they do not change how defenses think. Deep balls are different. One accurate throw downfield can force an entire secondary to back up, open space underneath, and completely alter a game plan. That is why the reports coming out of Minicamp about Shedeur Sanders connecting on vertical passes created so much excitement. For months, critics questioned different parts of his game, and one common debate centered on whether he could consistently threaten defenses deep at the next level. Strong arms get talked about often, but real deep ball talent is not just about throwing far. It is about timing, touch, trajectory, and knowing when to let the ball go. Reports from camp suggested Shedeur showed exactly that combination during long pass drills, dropping throws into receivers, hands with control, rather than simply launching the ball as hard as possible. That distinction matters. Many quarterbacks can throw a football a long distance with no pressure and no defenders around. But NFL-caliber deep passing requires placement. If the ball is underthrown, defenders recover. If it is overthrown, the play is wasted. If it arrives too late, the window closes. The best deep passes deliver catchable balls that allow receivers to keep running. That is what reportedly stood out in this session, passes that gave targets a chance to make real plays after the catch. There is also a psychological impact to hitting those throws in camp. Receivers become energized, because they know opportunities are coming. Coaches gain confidence to call more aggressive concepts. Defenses are forced to respect the possibility of being beaten over the top. Suddenly, safeties play deeper, corners hesitate, and space opens for everything underneath. One reliable deep passer can make the entire offense easier to operate. For Shedeur specifically, it also reinforces the idea that he is more complete than some outside narratives suggested. Too often, young quarterbacks get labeled early and unfairly. Some are called game managers. Others are said to rely only on athleticism. Once those labels stick, people ignore growth. If he continues showing strong vertical passing ability, those old takes will fade quickly. Another underrated part of deep ball success is trust. Quarterbacks must trust receivers to win routes, and receivers must trust the quarterback to place the ball correctly. Those connections usually take time to build. If early minicamp sessions already showed timing on downfield throws, that is a promising sign for how this offense could develop by the season. Of course, practice highlights do not guarantee Sunday production. Real games bring pass rushes, disguised coverages, and tighter windows. But traits still matter, and deep ball touch is one of them. Right now, the message from Minicamp is simple. Shedeur Sanders is not limited to short, safe football. If defenses crowd the line or disrespect his range, he may be ready to punish them with the kind of throws that swing momentum in a single snap. Sometimes the loudest statement a player makes does not come from a touchdown pass or a highlight throw. Sometimes it comes after practice, standing in front of microphones, addressing everything people have been saying for months. That is exactly what happened when Shedeur Sanders reportedly spoke about the negative narratives surrounding him and made it clear he is fully aware of the criticism. Instead of avoiding the topic, he leaned into it. According to reports, Shedeur called for a more positive outlook and suggested that real support means backing the team and its players instead of constantly searching for reasons to doubt them. That message instantly sparked reactions. Some fans saw leadership, others saw confidence bordering on swagger. But one thing was undeniable: he sounded like someone who refuses to be defined by outside noise. That kind of response matters because quarterbacks live under a different microscope than everyone else. Every throw gets analyzed. Every facial expression becomes a debate. Every comment can become a headline. Young quarterbacks especially deal with endless speculation, whether they are ready, whether they belong, whether they can handle pressure. Rumors often spread faster than facts, and online criticism can become non-stop. Shedeur's comments suggested he understands that world completely and has no intention of shrinking from it. There is also a mental edge to publicly confronting criticism. Some players ignore it, some deny hearing it, others use it as fuel. Shedeur appears to fall into that third category. When a player channels doubt into motivation, it can sharpen focus and create a chip on the shoulder that lasts all season. Many successful athletes have built careers off proving people wrong, and he may be trying to follow that path. At the same time, confidence can be polarizing. The moment a player speaks boldly, critics often wait for any mistake. That is the risk. If performances dip, comments get replayed everywhere. But if performances rise, those same comments start looking prophetic. That is why this season could be so fascinating. Shedeur is not hiding from expectations, he is inviting them. His message may have also resonated inside the locker room. Teammates usually respect players who stand tall under pressure, especially quarterbacks. The position demands accountability, and speaking publicly while the spotlight is intense can earn respect when backed by work on the field. If teammates see him competing hard while also defending the group, that leadership presence can grow quickly. For Browns fans, the debate will continue. Some will love the fire, some will want him to stay quiet and let play do the talking. But those two things are not mutually exclusive. A quarterback can speak confidently and still deliver. Right now, the biggest takeaway is simple. Shedeur Sanders does not sound rattled, overwhelmed, or unsure. He sounds energized by the challenge. And if he keeps pairing that mindset with strong performances, the critics who fueled his motivation may end up helping create his breakout season. For Cleveland fans, this is about much more than one strong minicamp practice. It is about hope, direction, and finally feeling like the team may have something real developing at the most important position in sports. The quarterback spot has shaped so many seasons for the Browns, for better and for worse, which is why every move involving Shedeur Sanders is being watched so carefully right now. When a franchise has experienced instability, fans become experts at reading small signs. They notice body language, timing with receivers, comments from coaches, and how teammates respond to a player. That is why the buzz around Shedeur's early minicamp showing matters. It is not just about completions or practice highlights. It is about supporters trying to figure out whether this could finally be the start of something sustainable. There is also natural curiosity, because Shedeur arrived with attention already attached to his name. Some players enter quietly, but he came in with expectations, doubters, supporters, and non-stop conversations surrounding his future. That kind of spotlight can create pressure, yet it also creates excitement. Browns fans know if he succeeds, the story becomes much bigger than just another young quarterback developing. It becomes a franchise-changing narrative. Another reason fans are locked in is because quarterback development often happens quickly or not at all. Supporters understand that early momentum can matter. A strong offseason can build confidence heading into training camp. Good camp performances can lead to more first-team reps. Those reps can create chemistry, and chemistry can turn into real production once games begin. It all connects. That is why every practice report feels more important than it might seem from the outside. There is also the emotional side of being a Browns fan. This fan base has stayed loyal through difficult seasons, constant changes, and years of uncertainty. Because of that history, optimism is never casual in Cleveland, it is earned. When fans begin to believe in a quarterback, it means they see something worth trusting. Right now, many are watching Shedeur closely because they want to know if he can become that player. Of course, skepticism still exists. Some people want to see padded practices, preseason games, and regular season production before buying in. That is fair. One minicamp session should not decide anyone's future, but excitement and caution often exist together, especially with young quarterbacks. Fans can be intrigued while still waiting for proof. What makes this moment interesting is that the energy feels different. A new coaching staff, fresh competition, and a quarterback eager to silence criticism have created real intrigue around the team. If Shedeur keeps stacking strong days, the noise around him will only grow louder. That is why Browns fans are watching every step. They are not just following a prospect. They are searching for signs that the long wait for quarterback stability may finally be ending. And if Shedeur Sanders keeps progressing, Cleveland's attention could turn into full belief sooner than many expected. One minicamp practice does not decide a season, a career, or the future of a franchise. Everyone understands that. There are still months of work ahead, tougher practices coming, preseason pressure, and eventually real games where every throw carries consequences. But sometimes a single day can shift the feeling around a player, and that appears to be exactly what happened with Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. Coming into camp, the conversation around him was split. Supporters believed his confidence, preparation, and talent would translate. Critics questioned whether the hype was bigger than the production. Others simply wanted to wait and see. Then day one arrived, and instead of looking overwhelmed or cautious, Shedeur reportedly looked sharp, decisive, and comfortable in command. That alone matters, because first impressions can shape momentum in a major way. Throughout the session, the signs people wanted to see reportedly showed up. Accuracy in team drills, quick reads, calm footwork, strong downfield throws, confidence in the new system. None of those things guarantee long-term success, but they are exactly the traits coaches and fans hope to see from a young quarterback taking early steps forward. When several positive signs appear at once, excitement naturally follows. Just as important was the energy around the situation. A fresh coaching staff, new structure, and a quarterback eager to prove himself can create a powerful combination. Sometimes talented players simply need the right environment to grow. Sometimes teams need a new voice to unlock belief. Rumors around camp suggest there is genuine optimism building. And while off-season buzz should always be viewed carefully, confidence inside a building can be meaningful. Shedeur's reported comments after practice also added another layer. He did not sound shaken by criticism or tired of the spotlight. Instead, he sounded motivated. That mindset can be valuable because quarterback success is not only physical, it is mental. The ability to handle noise, pressure, and constant judgment often separates players who fade from those who rise. For Browns fans, this is why the moment feels important. They are not celebrating one practice stat line. They are reacting to the possibility that something different may be developing. After years of uncertainty at quarterback, even small signs of stability and upside carry weight. Hope grows quickly when fans believe they may finally have someone worth building around. Of course, the real story will be written later. Training camp battles, preseason performances, and regular season moments will reveal much more than a voluntary minicamp ever can. Defenses will get smarter, pressure will rise, and expectations will grow. That is when reputations are truly earned. But every bigger story starts somewhere. Sometimes it starts quietly. Sometimes it starts with one strong practice that makes people look twice. Right now, Shedeur Sanders has created that kind of moment. The biggest question now is simple. Was this just a promising off-season flash, or the first chapter of Cleveland finally finding its future?